And so I began my college life in New York, while Jinhee started hers in Boston. It was the fall of 1991. I remember being so focused on adjusting to the new life that I barely kept in touch with her during our first year of college. After I decided to major in economics and she decided to try law, we both became incredibly busy. I remember feeling very sorry for her, wondering if I was the only one so busy. Still, we wrote letters once a month and talked on the phone about once a week. Even in the letter she sent me in the fall of 1992, when we were both sophomores, I could sense her sense of guilt. She faced the added hardship of having to cover all her tuition costs. Although I, too, had decided to become independent and began supporting myself from that point on, the underlying reasons for her and me were fundamentally different. Her father had left the family when she was young, and her mother was the sole breadwinner. She had 2 older brothers, but they were second-generation Korean Americans in their late 20s, struggling with the identity crises common among that generation at the time. Because of this, there were sensitive areas in her life where I couldn't offer her more than a certain level of help or advice. After all, she was a girl whose pride was as strong as her looks. Out of sight, out of mind. It was then that I first realized there was some truth to that saying. Although we had grown apart, we had already come to the mutual understanding that we were each other's one and only, and at that time, we both knew that the idea of anyone else coming between us was simply unthinkable. In the spring of 1994, when I was a junior in college, I went to a movie theater in Fresh Meadows, a neighborhood in Queens, New York, to see Benny and June, starring Johnny Depp and Mary Stuart Masterson. I went with friends from high school. Since we hadn't seen each other in a while, we arrived near the theater an hour before the movie started, just like we used to, chatting about this and that, and watching the girls walking by, enjoying a rare moment of leisure. Still, since the university I attended was ranked among the top schools in the country, studying wasn't exactly easy. That's why I remember this day as being especially precious. When I came back from the restroom, my friends' expressions had changed. "What's wrong with your faces?"
Nothing. We're just tired. Should we just go home?
"What are you talking about? It's still early evening."
Let's just go to the Chinese restaurant next door and grab some dinner before we leave.
The other guy standing next to him chimed in, too. "What's with you guys?" Then one of them said, "Jinhee was here, with a few other kids. She looked really surprised when she saw us. She never even spoke to us in high school, but she asked if you were here too." "Isn't she supposed to be in Boston? It's not even vacation." My friends, worried about me, finally said the things they'd been holding back. After hearing them, I went inside the theater to look for her and spotted a group of boys over there. She was among them. I immediately locked eyes with her face, which remained expressionless amidst a group of boys dressed in black who appeared to be of Chinese descent, laughing and talking animatedly. What was surprising was that the group she was with seemed so far removed from the kind of people she usually hung out with. It was almost like a fall from grace. I stared at her for a moment. It felt as though the thought, "How can I get through this situation without it seeming strange to either of us?" had flashed through my mind at least 10 times in that brief moment. In the end, I gave her a faint smile, which must have been very awkward at the time, turned my back on the theater, and headed toward the parking lot where my friends were waiting. Just as I turned my head, I saw her bow her head. She left with her friends, passing by an Infiniti and a Nissan Z300, with Massachusetts license plates, likely driven down from Boston by her group. After that day, I didn't contact Jinhee. She didn't write or call me either. Perhaps I should have been the one to reach out first, but that didn't seem to bother me much at the time. As time passed, not even a few months had gone by before I became extremely busy with graduation preparations and an internship. After graduating in the fall of 1995, I landed a job as a junior analyst at the second largest investment bank in the country. My office was on the 88th floor of the South Tower of the World Trade Center, and from that point on, my life opened the door to a whole new world. I began meeting more people, wonderful people, especially very attractive women, and as these relationships developed, my memories of Jinhee gradually faded. But deep down, I think I was actually more at ease with things turning out this way. After all, had I delved deeper into that situation during my junior year of college and engaged in some petty love-hate struggle with her, the outcome would not have been a beautiful one. In the late summer of 1997, 2 years after I started working, there was a party with my company and its partner firms. I hadn't been particularly interested in this party the previous year, so I assumed this one wouldn't be any different. The venue was a restaurant in South Street Seaport, the same place where my high school prom had been held. A fleeting memory from the past came to mind. A note from her back in 1991. When I asked her to go to the prom with me, she turned me down, saying, "You can't win them all." Yeah, I really wished I could have come here with her back then. With that thought in mind, I parked my car at the restaurant's main entrance, walked down the hallway, and was escorted inside. Most of the guests had already arrived, and my boss, Mr. Strubos, began introducing me and my colleagues to the staff from our company's law firm. As I was greeting people, my eyes fell on an Asian woman standing at the very end of the line of lawyers. I couldn't turn my head to look directly at her while greeting others, but out of the corner of my eye, I saw that she was Asian, wearing a black dress and with dark brown hair. New York is a vast place, but if there is such a thing as fate, it can make New York feel like a very small world. When it was her turn to be introduced, she stood right in front of me. It was Jinhee. It was our first meeting in 3 years, but we could no longer be the couple we once were.